What's up, guys? Andrew Bad Andy Belgium. I'm back with Bad Andy Fitness. So I'm doing meal prep again, and today we're going to do a pork roast. And a lot of people complain that pork roasts are dry and not enough flavor. So I'm going to show you a great way to prepare it that is just full of flavor and it's nice and juicy. So let's go ahead, let's get started. And I'm just going to show you the marinade that we're going to do first. So we're going to make this rub. We're going to rub it all over our roast, and then we're going to let it set overnight. The longer you can let it set, the better that flavor is going to get into the meat, and it's going to crust on that meat better when we're baking it in the oven. But first thing that you're going to need is we're going to do a whole bulb of garlic. We're going to do minced onion, orange peel, black pepper, pink Himalayan sea salt. Depending on if you want it spicy or not, this is optional, but I'm going to do some chipotle pepper powder to give it a little bit of kick. Then we're going to do some paprika. You can use whatever kind you want, smoky or sweet. This actually doesn't say what it is. It's more of a sweet style though. And then we're going to use some fresh ground coffee as well. So you can see just from all these ingredients, it's going to have a lot of flavor. So what you're going to want to do first is, I've done pretty much all the garlic beforehand. I was just going to show you guys, you know, you don't have to take these skins off when you have a mincer like this. So you just kind of put it in there. Squeeze it out and get the rest in there. And that's the whole bowl of garlic there. So that's going to be a ton of flavor just right there in itself. And for the onion, it's kind of per taste, but this is roughly about 3 teaspoons worth. And I'll write all these down in the description because I don't measure everything out. I just kind of eyeball it. I just kind of think how big the piece of meat is, and, you know, adding that on it, how much flavor it's going to put into it. And then with the orange peel, you're going to want to do about probably 2 teaspoons worth. It's going to honestly be about your whole orange peel, because you're going to need a grater. And as you can see here, there's different sizes. This is medium, this is large, and then you're going to want the really small fine. And what you do, if you've never done it before, is just rub up and down with your orange on here until you can see the fruit starting to get out, and then just kind of turn it, do the same thing, and you're slowly and surely going to start getting this flavorful, there is so much flavor in these peels, flavorful orange peel that we're going to throw in. This is about half of what you need. This is about 1 teaspoon, so we're going to do 2 of those bad boys. And then, like I was saying earlier, for the spice, it's kind of preference to you. I think spice adds quite a bit of flavor, so I like it a little bit spicy. So we'll do about, that's probably 2 teaspoons worth there. And then the paprika, you're actually going to need quite a bit. Roughly 2 tablespoons worth. So we got 1, 2, and I got some garlic floating around in there, so we'll go back for another 2.5 probably. So we got about 2.5 teaspoons there. And then for the pepper and salt, I just, you know, see the roast here, and then imagine going over it, how much pepper and how much salt you would put on it. Because it's kind of hard to measure these out. You're not going to be able to get a measuring device under this and get, you know, an accurate measurement. It's just going to be going all over the place. So that's pretty good for the pepper. You know, we'll get the sea salt, or the pink Himalayan salt in there, excuse me, which is so good for you. And you can do sugar as well, some really bigger, like the bigger type granulated sugar. But I'm not big on the sweets, so I don't do any sugars. And then, you know, we got our fresh ground coffee here, and we're going to do about 2 teaspoons of that in there. And the coffee adds like a really unique flavor to it. You're going to love it. Then after you've got that in there, we're just going to mix everything together. And since it has the garlic in there, I like to use gloves unless you want your hands kind of stinking for the rest of the day, you know. So just mix it together. It'll get a little clumpy since that garlic and onion are fresh, and same thing with the orange peel. But basically all we're going to do is just rub our entire pork roast here. And you can see here it's got that nice layer of fat. We're not going to want to trim that at all. That's actually really good for you. As long as this is an organic raised pig, which all this stuff here is organic ingredients. That's all I ever use. It makes such a big difference in your life. If you guys haven't gone organic, you need to do it. So we'll just go ahead and we'll dump everything in here and just rub it onto your pork roast. Just make sure it gets a nice even coating. And once I'm done rubbing this in, I'm just going to cover this with saran wrap and we'll let it sit in that fridge overnight, and it's going to get this really nice dark crust on there. And basically all that flavor is going to start to seep in, and then when we bake it in the oven, it's just going to be so good. It's going to smell delicious even when it's baking. But you know, you kind of see here it's getting that nice coating. I got a little more left, so I'm going to go ahead and rub that in, cover with saran wrap, put it in the fridge, and then I'm going to show you guys tomorrow how we bake it, and we're going to have to let it rest as well. So I'll see you guys soon, and I'll show you how we finish this delicious pork roast off. Okay guys, so it's day number 2. I've had the pork roast sitting out at room temperature for a little over an hour now. That's an important step. You want it to kind of naturally come up from being in the fridge. We're ready to take off the saran wrap. And behind me here, I have the oven already preheated up to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And once we put this in the oven, it's approximately 25 minutes per pound. But stick a thermometer in there, make sure it's reading 145 in the center before you actually pull it out. I'm just kind of curious what it smells like. Wow, so it's got like a really unique orange coffee smell to it. It smells really good. I can't wait to try it. So I'm going to pop it in the oven, and then I'll see you guys here in about an hour and a half, and we'll see what the final product looks like. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay guys, so I took my roast out of the oven. It sat for 10 minutes. The internal temperature got up a little higher than I wanted. I got a little busy. It got up to 175. So I'm getting ready to taste it, see what the flavors are like, and to see if it's a little dry. Normally you want 145 to 165 internal temperature. So the moment of truth. It's really good. You can taste the coffee and orange peel really stand out. You get like a hint of garlic. I wish I would have made it a little spicier. So if you want to kick it up a notch, make sure you add some more spice. And when I did next go around, I'm definitely going to add some more. But it still tastes pretty good. I wish I would have got it out about 155, would be about perfect. It seems like it's still pretty juicy. But you can see all this fat floating around the outside of the pan. What I'm going to do after I get this all the way cut up is I'll pour the rest of that fat in with the meat. What that's going to do is going to keep it moist. And this fat's really good for you. You guys need to start getting this fat in your diet. So, I mean, as you can see, eating healthy and eating great tasting food, it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time, guys. So you can start cooking your own food at home, and you don't have to keep doing those bland, boring meal preps that I always see people doing. Enjoy your life. Eat great, amazing tasting food. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. As always, in the comments below, let me know what you want me to cover in future episodes, and I'll get to them. Like, share, subscribe this, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Bad Andy Fitness.